Hari Om. Good evening. Very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's take the blessings of the Almighty. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya sahanavavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryangkaravavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipresent, who also has the divine names Ashokaha, Taranaha, to such a magnificent Lord, together with Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, we offer our humble salutations to seek your grace, your mercy, your blessings, your love, your compassion, your forgiveness, your strength, your resilience. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, mumukshutva, in much more quantum, so that I can realize my true self, have the first-hand experience of thyself in my own self, aproksha anubhuti. We beseech in you that at the end of our lives, we reach the heavenly abode. Om Tat Sat. Today, by the grace of Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our divine discourse number 335. Shobhana Kratnama Samvatsara Uttarayana Grishma Ritu Jyeshta Masa Krishna Paksha Tritiya Purvashada Nakshatra Shukla Yoge Bhadrakarane. On this 6th of June 2023, on this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all take a firm resolve. Na ham karta hari karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartha. All that is happening in my life is only and only at the behest of the Almighty. It is purely at His command. I have completely surrendered to Him. And I know that whatever comes in my life, as an incident, a circumstance, a happening, a situation, all that is only at His command and order. I completely accept everything that comes in my life with that prasada buddhi and attend to each and every situation with peace, serenity, acceptance, and love. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you once again. So now, as we are progressing, learning more and more new things over here, what Lord Krishna has been giving us in great depth. He has been explaining to us how to move forward in life. So, if you look at what we are learning in the 4th chapter, it's always good to look back and see where we are. The big question, or you can call it as the grand question here, was not only how to become spiritual, but most importantly, how to become enlightened or how to realize God. And if you also take a look, how does it impact our lives? When you are in this process of moving towards this realization of God, how does it impact our lives? How do we manifest that spirituality in our day-to-day lives? And how do we combine our daily life with the spirituality? So, this is something which a question can arise. But here Lord Krishna, He gives in His very own paradoxical language. Paradoxical in the sense where when you say right is wrong and wrong is right, that becomes a paradoxical statement, where you are contradicting and again arguing in favor of something. So one of the paradoxical verses we saw was seeing action in inaction and inaction in action. So this is one of the most important verses if we have to talk about how we connect our spiritual life, our daily life and our spiritual life towards God realization. He says, when you're doing an action, I am not the doer. This is one parameter, one angle of understanding this. I'm talking, but at the back of your mind, you are listening, but the back of your mind, what you should have is, I am not listening. Then who is listening? Or who is talking over here? It is the God in me who is doing the talking, and the God in you who is doing the listening. This should be our understanding. So, if you do your karma in this way, then we have actually applied Advaita Vedanta in our practical life. So now, then after that, he in another shloka, he says, he gives that grand panoramic vision of the Lord being in everything, meaning taking this statement forward, seeing action in inaction, meaning when I am in action, I saw the Lord behind me. Okay, now the second part is what? It is seeing inaction in action, meaning when you are not doing anything, there at the same time you see that the Lord is already in action. You may be sitting still, quiet, but there is so much of action going on within your body. Every second 1 million cells are born and 1 million cells die. There is a continuous flow of your blood in your entire stream. There is digestion of food which is happening. There are so many sense perceptions which are taking place. Amazing things are happening on a second to second, millisecond basis. So you may think that you are doing nothing, but there you have to visualize that action happening in you. So with these fundamental paradoxical statements, now the Lord gives the grand panoramic vision of Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi, where he says, like metaphor of the yagna. So there is a person who is performing the yagna, there is fire, there is yagna kunda, then you have the havis. So he says everything is that Lord and Lord alone, Brahman. If you have to understand, I'll give you another metaphor. Let's say there is a court. You have the judge, and then you have the accused, you have the complainant who has filed a complaint against the accused, then you have an advocate of the accused, you have an advocate for the complainant. Now imagine if the judge is the one is the Lord, okay? The judge is the Lord, the accused is the Lord, the complainant is the Lord, the accused advocate is the Lord, the complainant's advocate is Lord. Just imagine the scenario. Which means we are all functioning on a stage which has been created by the Almighty, created by Him, enacted by Him. We are all being enacted by Him and Him alone. That is the true understanding of Vedanta. Ekameva Advitiya Brahma. From one alone everything has come. And that everything goes back into that one alone. And now, if this was about, say, 100, 200 years ago, then you had some doubts on this statement. But now science is corroborating this particular wisdom, saying, yes, what is this black hole? What is this evolution? All this is nothing but that same Mahavakyas what we have heard in the scriptures. So this way, one should understand that our spirituality, that spiritual attitude and our daily lives are not divorced. They go together. It is not that there is something spiritual. Okay, that half an hour, 1 hour in the morning, I am to be spiritual, and the rest of the day I am going to be secular or worldly. No, that's not the case. So in this way now the Lord, having prepared our minds, He gave us the practice of 12 yagnas. Now we are almost at the fag end now. So now let's just take a revision of what are these 12 yagnas and then move forward. So when you use these yagnas, whatever He has told in the yagnas, that make it a part of your life. As I said, your life and your spiritual practice, they're not divorced. They have to go hand in hand. So using that concept, let's take a recap and move forward on the yagnas. So the first one, he spoke about the Deva Yagya, where Deva, it comes from the root illumination. So where the Devas, it can also be compared to the 5 sense organs, the organs of perception. So where a person is paying his obeisance to the Devas, this is the first yagya. And don't we see that from the time we get up, we are using our sense organs? So behind every sense organ there is a Devata. So offering our pranams to that Devata. Then there is a second yagya known as the Brahma Yagya, where one offers his own self, not that he jumps into the fire, but he just surrenders completely to the Almighty. He says, "Oh Lord, I know for a fact that the next second, if my breath has to come in, it is you who is making that breath you are giving me that breath. And I also know for a fact that if that breath which has gone in does not come out, that also is the end of my life. And I know that you are the one who is taking the breath out of me and again supplementing it with another breath." So this way he completely offers. Now remember, we don't have to master all the 12 yagnas. One yagna is good enough, or more, or all the 12. But we need to have at least one yagna as an hardcore practice. The third one is Indriya Yagna, where control of the senses becomes the fire of the yagya, and the senses become the havis. This is the Indriya Yagna. Then the Mano Yagna, where the senses they become the fire, and what all we are using with as the objects of the senses, like hearing, seeing, tasting, touching, smelling, so everything becomes as an offering to the Lord. Mano Yagya, Atma Samyama Yagya, all these organs we are offering, control of the mind. Then comes the Dravya Yagya. Dravya Yagna, all the materials. Primarily what we talk about is the wealth. But other than wealth, any material you use for in the name of the Lord, it becomes the Dravya Yagna. Then comes the Tapo Yagya, austerity, where you are controlling yourself. I am going to do a fast. Mahashivaratri, Ekadashi, Krishnashtami, and then Navaratri. All these days I am going to do a fast, meaning there you are doing a fast as you are controlling your senses, you are controlling your desires, and you are saying, I am doing it for the love of the Lord. Now if somebody is doing a fast for weight reduction, that does not come under Tapo Yagna. That is for the worldly aspect. But here everything is offered to the Lord, Tapo Yagna. Then comes the yoga yagna, where you are primarily again getting connected with the Lord. Everything, whatever is there, the desire, motive, every aspect, using the yama niyama principle, you are bringing it under control to reach the higher self. Swadhyaya yagna. Now what we are doing is swadhyaya. We are studying the scriptures. That daily deep study of the scriptures is an yagya by itself. You are getting connected that way to the Lord. Then the GNANA yagna. Now the difference between GNANA yagna and the swadhyaya yagna is Shravana and Manana, listening and contemplating, becomes swadhyaya, and GNANA yagna is that deep nididhyasana state where you are churning that knowledge to realize oneself. Jnana yagna. Then comes the prana yagna. We are using, everybody we are taking breaths, second after second. We take 21,600 breaths, a normal person. Unwell person even crosses 30-35,000 breaths a day. Now, here what Lord Krishna is saying is every breath intake, or you're holding, or you're exhaling, offer it to the Lord. This becomes the prana yagna. And then the last one which we are studying now is the deha yagna, systematic regulation of our diet, a complete mastery over ourselves, our appetites, and on our passions. So we often find sincere seekers, we so extremely get attached to their own path of practice, and they constantly argue about it among themselves. What is it now? I practice this way, and that is the only way it has to be done. Other than that, it cannot be done. But here, the Lord, just to break this, He has given this a wide variety. Whatever suits you, you choose that path. However noble and great they may be, but all are all but means and not an end in themselves. This is what we need to understand. All these are methods of self-development. Whatever it can be. This rigid determination is what we need to have in our life, which is not an end but a means to reach that end. So this way, progress in spirituality can only come only to those who are sincere and consistent in their practices. See, nobody is that busy. Everybody has got 24 hours. But if somebody can make it, you say you have a function in your place and somebody makes it, meaning you are more important, you are top of on the list. Others, they give a reason. Well, most of the time, reasons can be overcome if they really had an intention to come, but they give a nice reason to keep you happy. So which means what? You have to prioritize. I have to do swadhyaya for 1 hour in the morning. I have to do pranayam, or I have to do dravya yagna, tapo yagna, whatever yagna you choose, you have to make it a priority in your life. So these are the art of living these techniques. This is what is important. And we practice them in the right spirit, in the spirit of self-dedication and selfless enthusiasm. Then only we can reap a harvest from it. So this is what, and what it does, it wipes out all your existing vasanas. See, now what is disturbing us today? Suddenly, we are going with a good thought. Suddenly somewhere right from within, like as a bubble comes from deep underneath the river, a bubble comes, vasana comes in. Some vasana, a depressing thought, or a grudge, or some anger. All this, if has to be cleansed completely, grassroots level. So to wipe off and clean these vasanas, this kind of yagyas is what the Lord is telling us to do. Okay, now we shall complete verse 30. We were halfway, so let me just post the Shlok and then we'll move forward. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Apare Niyataharaha Pranan Praneshu Juhvati Sarvepyete Yagnavidaha Yagnakshapita Kalmashaha. So here what we understood in our previous class was Pranan Praneshu Juhvati, meaning offering the prana. In the prana, it actually means revitalizing and balancing the pranas, which the Ayurveda experts and all have spoken about. Now, but how do we do that? Niyataharaha. This is the crux of what the Lord is trying to tell us is, you may want to control your prana, but niyataharaha. Yuktahara viharascha, how much do I eat, when do I eat, how many meals, and what do I eat, how do I eat, all this is extremely important. So he talks about a control on one's food habits. Ahriyante iti aharaha, meaning don't understand that what you have eaten is only that has to be regulated. No. Eating is with the tongue, but tongue is not the only sense. This sense of taste, no, it is not the only sense organ. Whatever you gather from all the sides, what your eyes see, what your ears see, what your nose smells, what your tongue tastes, and what your skin touches. So all this is going into your mind, just like food is going into your tummy. Now these perceptions which we get in the external world, niyate ahara, meaning you have to control what this sense organ is given by the Lord. You cannot use it for your personal pleasure and satisfaction. Like say you have a car, you have a driver, you tell the driver, go to so and so place and pick up so and so person, and you come. Now you have a car and you're going. You cannot take the car for a personal ride somewhere else. You have to use it to what you are prescribed for. In the same way, all these senses, where do you get the prescription? In the Vedas, in the scriptures, in these kind of spiritual texts, where we get to know that this anything I do with this body, this mind, this senses, has to be only as a pure offering to the Lord. If I'm violating, it means that what action you would have taken if your driver had gone somewhere else, used the car for his own personal purposes, what would you have felt? That is what exactly the Lord will feel over here. And you will be someday you will be kicked out. So that's how we have to understand this. So just like as we don't throw all the rubbish into our tummy will immediately get upset. But we don't understand that the mind, where we are throwing so much of rubbish in the mind, is listening to so many nonsense talks, thinking about so many grudgeful situations of jealousy, situations of anger, situations of unwanted desire. All this will eventually upset your mind, just as a wrong food upsets the stomach. So in fact, we have seen when we were with brahmacharis and sannyasis, Each one has got their own way of control over food. See, that is something which is visible. Okay, the rest of the perceptions we don't understand, but as far as when it comes to food, they say, okay, I'm going to eat only once in a day, and okay, I'm going to fast one complete day in a week. And what kind of food? There were some sannyasis where they used to take all the food, put it in a cloth, everything. You have sabji, you have dal, you have chapati, you may have given him a laddu, he'll put everything in that cloth, he'll dip it in water, and then he'll open up and eat. Here, see, he's not doing it for the gratification of the senses. Food is, hunger is a disease and food is the medicine. That's it. I need to give medicine to my body because every 5 hours I'm getting hungry. So with that concept, these people go to that extent of control over their senses. The idea in spiritual life, ultimately, food is not the purpose of life. We should not eat to live. We have heard this several times. We should not live to eat. We eat to live. So that what these sannyasis were doing is, yes, I need some food. I completely wash everything. No salts, no masala. I don't want to become a slave to my tongue. So this way, Ete sarve api. Sarve pyete is said, Ete sarve api. In this way, these sadhaks, these advanced spiritual sadhaks, yagna vidaha, they understand this as a yagna. They worship these spiritual practices, they worship literally. Yagna kshapita kalmashaha. What is their understanding? That by doing these yagnas, yagna kshapita means by doing these yagnas, kalmashaha, whatever dirt, meaning that sin is there in me, I cleanse it. Now what sin has been done and what has been accumulated in your name, we cannot remove that. We just say, no, you remove this, I don't want. You can't say that. So there is a method of how you can negate or come out of that is, you have to use the cleansing agents of these yagnas. Yagnas are the cleansing agents. This is what the Lord is telling us over here. By this your mind gets purified. What is the advantage? Mind gets purified, mind gets calm, mind gets serene, and you become more and more eligible to go on the path of yajna to higher and higher levels. So which means your fitness for realization becomes greater and greater. Like, say there is an expedition to climb Mount Everest. Yes, there is a troop which goes to Mount Everest, but there are various levels. Some are still at the base, that is the basic level. You get acclimatized, and then once you are able to perform at that basic level of Mount Everest, then they'll take you to the next level. Then there, if you prove yourself, then you go to the next level. This way you cross level after level, and one day you'll reach the peak. Immediately if you are taken to the highest level, you will collapse over there, because your body is not tuned to this situation and circumstances. So yagna kshapita kalmashaha. By these spiritual practices, what is the goal? The goal, one and only thing, is to purify the mind. Please understand this. By doing the yagnas, you are not going to get self-realization. What happens is your mind gets pured. And when in such a pure mind, if you implant this knowledge, GNANA, Atma Jnana, immediately it fructifies. Like if the soil is fertile, you implant a seed over there, so that fertile soil and that right water condition, the right amount of sunlight, what it makes the seed which you have just thrown, you have not even sown it over there, you have just thrown it on that soil, you see a tree there sprouting, a sapling coming out. In the same way, we are preparing our minds by these yagnas. So this is what Lord Krishna, he talks about in this verse 30. He explains this yagya is what can take you to the higher planes of spirituality or consciousness in your life. Now we move forward to verse 31. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yagnashishtamrita Bhujaha Yanti Brahma Sanatanam Nayam Lokostya Yagnasya Kutonya Kuru Sattama. See now, in verse 31, yeah. So now he gives a new meaning to this. What is the direct meaning of this verse? Eating of this ambrosial food after the sacrifice, ambrosial means the amrita, what we call, such sadhaks, they attain the eternal Brahman. Even this word is not for the non-sacrificing, much less the other. They say it is these sadhaks, they have that clear understanding that whatever I do in my life, in my daily life, it is like the amrita after the sacrifice is done. What is the meaning of sacrifice? So the literal meaning is, what is the literal meaning? Now I do Naivedya, where you worship God and you put bhog, what we call, where we keep in front of the Lord, and then we offer it to the Lord, and then we have that in our daily life. Now this prasad, that food which was there, when you offer it to the Lord, it becomes a prasad. But till then it is just food. So, and we all know that the Lord is not going to eat that, but the bhav is there. So that offering of that food to the Lord, meaning offering of every action in our life. Now you have to relate this. What is the literal meaning and what is the implied meaning? It means everything. The breath you take, you offer to the Lord. A thought which comes to your mind, offer it to the Lord. A sense of control you have developed over your sense perceptions, you say, oh Lord, it is your strength which has given me to do this. So every aspect, when you offer it to the Lord, and then as we use the Naivedya, we consume it, in the same way you lead your life. It could be anything. Let's say you go, you buy a cup of coffee. Think of the Lord. I offer it to you first. It is a thought of reverence, devotion. See, this is the most beautiful trick what we have over here. It may appear a little weird and indifferent in the beginning, but eventually that is what the Lord is saying. You are nothing other than me. Now what has happened? You have gone away from me. I have not asked you to go. You think you are doing everything. You think you have the capacity for everything. Now just compare children and parents. Initially, the child for each and everything is dependent on the mother. Every small thing it comes to the mother. Many a times the mothers, they get fed up. What is this? You have grown up already. Why don't you do by yourself? But the child comes back. But after a while, if you see mother interfering in any aspect of the child's life, it feels that you are not giving me enough space. This is what they say nowadays. You are unnecessarily helicopter parenting, they say. You are going around me like a helicopter all the time. So now what the Lord is saying is, we have to tell the Lord, you be an helicopter in my life. All the time going around on me only. I don't want to be away from you. Just like I was a small child, as a small child goes to the mother, now whatever be my age, whatever be my status in life, I want you to be always with me, above me. I want to be under your shadow. So everything is offered. So what does it actually mean? To live a life of moral and ethical and religious disciplined life. Then you will attain. As I told you, it is not the end, but it is a means to reach the end. Let's say you are doing business or you're working for a company. When we say he is very successful, this gentleman, very successful businessman, a very successful person, he has gone up the ladder from a managerial post to the CEO of the company. Now we call that as success. You know what is the true meaning? Now let's say you're doing business. Let's say you're doing some 100 crores of turnover. Now that increase in that turnover, whatever turnover, that increase is known as growth. Increase in your material possessions also, like you're getting some salary. Now increase in that salary is not that you are successful. There is only growth in your life, that's it. Material possessions, there is a growth. Now when this growth is combined with ethics and discipline and honesty, then it becomes progress. Oh, this person is progressing. See, you are still not successful. You are growing in the first stage, and when you have ethics, in that growth you have ethics, you have discipline, you have honesty, then you can say that from growth you have moved on to progress. Now when this progress is combined with humanity, morality and spirituality, that becomes true success in your life. Till then it is just growth and progress. If you want to be really successful, then your progress has to be combined with spirituality, morality and humanity. Now taking this concept, now visualize all the yagnas are coming over here. You realize? Only when you have all the yagnas in place one after the other, you become successful. So in this way, yagya shishtaha. This person, yagya shishta, means he is purified by this yagya. That kind of life when you live. When you live this life of practicing all these 12 yagnas which we discussed today. And remember, in these 12 yagnas, 11 are moral ethical practices. The 12th one, what? Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, the first one, verse 24, that is the climax. You will reach that stage where you will see that there is nobody else in the courtroom. Although you see that there is one judge, there is one accused, there is one complainant, and there is an accused judge and a complainant judge, and there are audiences also. Now this Brahmarpanam is like saying everybody is one. The ROP, the accused, is the judge is the complainant, the public are the judge. Everything you combine, it's all one and one alone. If you have to go to that stage, then one needs to have that clarity in mind. Once your mind is purified, what happens is then you become eligible. You may be the best of the doctors. Okay, now let's say there is heart surgery for the most wanted person in the country, the VVVIP. Okay, and for such a person, now the best of the doctors come in to give their assistance. Now if a doctor has come in, will he be allowed to enter the operation theatre immediately? No, there is a procedure. He has to go under the procedure of the cleansing, and he has to wear the right kind of dress which is sanitized. Then he has to wear the right kind of footwear. All this he has to prepare himself before entering the operation theatre. In the same way, now if you have to go to that climax, to that Brahmarpanam stage, these are all the 11 moral ethical practices which Lord Krishna has told us. You pass this. As you keep passing one by one, then what happens? Yanti Brahma Sanatanam. Then you become fit for that enlightenment or Jnanodaya. Such people, they will realize me, because they are now entitled to get moksha. As I told you, just that soil which is prepared, and in that you just buy, you ate a jamun or a chiku, you just throw that seed over there on that fertile soil. As that fertile soil sprouts, you have now such a advanced spiritual practitioner. He has prepared his mind. So here, there's always a feeling that Advaita Vedanta is that you have these higher spiritual practices, meaning what you study the Upanishads, and there you get to know that you are told that you are the Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, all this we learn. And then you think that, okay, I'll meditate a little, and now and then I'll attend some lectures, depending on how I get some time. And then you think that I've already understood that I am Brahman. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have misunderstood this. So what Lord Krishna says is, these rituals, the vows, the austerities, they make you pure to retain this knowledge. Yes, of course, the ultimate purpose is enlightenment. But without these practices, this enlightenment, even if it comes to you, but you will not be able to retain it. If you have a bowl, even if you get the purest of milk, but if the bowl is dirty, as the milk goes waste, it gets spoiled. So in the same way, our mind has to be like that clean bowl to assimilate whatever you get in your as knowledge. So this way, one has to have that. If you feel at any point of time, I'm not getting what is told, I somehow feel that I'm understanding, but then it slips off my mind, then immediately think that my vasanas have to be cleansed, my mind has to be cleansed, and let me intensify my yagna. Whatever 11 yagnas, the 12th is the goal, 11 are the yagnas. Now I need to, whichever is my favorite, I need to do more. Or you may also feel that I have some interest now, but over a period of time you lose interest. And have you not seen so many people, they come along and then over a point of time they just fade away. Reason is their mind, what is happening is, it's the worldly dirt is so much that they feel that the true reality is money. This pleasure seeking, or your some glamour seeking, or power somewhere, or achievement, I want to become this, I want to become that. That seems to be the true reality for them, and this Lord, the Almighty, the Paramatma, it goes on a back seat. Once Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was walking down the street and he saw some old gentlemen who were sitting in the evening, who have retired from their job, and they're sitting and playing cards. Now, Paramahamsa sees this and it disturbs him. He says, my God, you all are already so old, and what nonsense you all are doing. Precious evening sunset time, you're sitting and playing cards. He goes to them and he says, isn't it high time that you start calling on God and take up some spiritual practices? All of them, they pay no interest to this. They just ignore Sri Ramakrishna, because the world seems so real. He says, now my half game is on. I need to win this game. That seems real for them. Whatever be the kind of suffering and misery in life, whatever be the kind of kicks and blows they're getting in their life, but that impurity of their mind, it will not allow you to go towards the higher, which is the divine. So what is this Brahman, this consciousness, this mind, inquiry, all this is, you need that maturity in your mind. If all of we who are continuously on this path is that Lord's grace, first is that Ishvara Anugraha Deva Pumsan. Without His Anugraha, His blessings, nothing works. We know that. His Anugraha is there. And because of that Anugraha, our continuous practice is going on. And with this, each one of us is strengthening ourselves. So you must have seen so many people are there who are academically, they are so smart. Or in business, they are extremely sharp. In worldly dealings, they are great. But you tell them something about spirituality, they'll say, no, I don't understand this. That is just because of the impurity of mind. You have to get out of this. Unless and until you cleanse your mind. So why we are giving this importance is, now we have understood what these are. Pick up one or two and start practicing. And you will see that everything becomes so crystal clear. I tell you my own experience. When I was before Vedanta, anybody whom I saw was successful, I was drawn towards them. Like, how did you become so successful? And trying to imitate that person, understand what he is doing, and try to inculcate those right practices in your life. And they became some kind of a role model for you in your life. And now, after Vedanta, when I see such people, I say, my God, what a waste of their energy, time and intelligence they have from the Almighty. It's going again and again back into the world to gain power, or to gain money, or to gain status, or to gain some aim what they have in worldly aim, what they have in life. So this is what, once your mind is cleansed, only then you can rise up to these levels. And another important aspect I will share with you, when I just started studying, whatever was said did not make much sense. Like I gave you the scene of the court. The accused or the culprit, the criminal, is none other than the judge. The judge is none other than the audience. The audience is none other than the advocate for the criminal. See, what am I talking? It is so weird, isn't it? But once you understand that this tattva The substance in each one of them is all from the same source. It's like, when you don't have a knowledge of what the essence is, and if I tell you, I place in front of you a gold nose ring, a gold earring, a gold finger ring, a gold bracelet, a gold chain, and I say all these are one and the same, you'll say, what nonsense you're talking. This chain is something which you put around your neck. This finger ring is something which goes on your finger. The earring is which goes onto your ear, and the nose ring which goes on your nose. You're saying what? All this is one and the same. But in what sense? They are all nothing but gold. That gold has been in different forms. So this is that essence what we need to understand over here. That is what we need to get. That we all, the essence in each and one of us is one and the same. So this way, what does spirituality promise us? Atyantika dukkha nivritti paramananda prapti, which means this suffering which is there in my life, the disturbance, the anxieties, the fear, all this you will cross over. And Paramananda Prapti, you will attain, you will experience that bliss. And then you catch hold of the person or the Shastra which says, no, I am not experiencing something of that kind. That means there is lack of preparation. So we need to enhance the practices. Amrita Bhujaha. So as you enhance your practices, then whatever is told over here, that becomes true for you. So that kind of life, a person who is leading that kind of life, they alone are fit for realizing that Parabrahman or becoming enlightened or God realized. And what about the others? Now in this shloka, now what about the others who don't practice these things? They have no discipline of such kind. So they say, we are not interested. Let's talk of our own life. It's not that everybody who is known to us, who is very close to us, be it our spouse or our children or our grandchildren or our close friends, parents, not that everybody is interested. They said, we are not interested. Why should I practice this disciplines, rituals, this all which is so rigid, and then they talk about this is waste of time. I have my freedom. I want to be free. I'll do what I want. Meaning I'll get up at any time I want to get up. I'll eat whatever I want to eat. And whenever I want to go to sleep, I'll go to sleep. Now, there are these people, they kind of, we are free birds, they say. All these words what I'm talking is we have heard from our dear ones. We are like free birds. We do whatever the mind tells me to do. Now, this is not freedom actually. This is like basically you are under the grip of your mind. This one doesn't understand. So, anybody who tries to, like you want to be free, you want to achieve something, and in that point of time, if somebody like you go there and you tell them, no, don't do this, get up early in the morning, do some physical exercise, some pranayam, and eat something healthy, then they get angry and frustrated because their desire to sleep is hindered. And what happens when their desire is hindered? Kamat krodho vijayate. When a desire is obstructed, in the second chapter Lord Krishna has told us about this, it transforms into anger. And they think that it is freedom. Getting up at whatever time I want to get up. eating whatever I want to eat, going wherever I want to go. That's not freedom. It is your slavery to the body and mind. We heard this. Kinkarasya kinkare, kinkari kritaha. My servant's servant I become. Imagine what is my state. Now the senses are a servant to the mind. Mind is my servant. But what is my state now? My servant's servant. Who is my servant? Mind. Mind's servant is the senses. I become a servant to the senses, meaning servant, servant, servant. Kinkarasya kinkare, kinkari krataha. This is that right understanding. When will it come? So this is what one needs to get, that proper understanding of how to move ahead in life. And now Lord Krishna, he says in the next verse, he says, he criticizes those who do not follow the discipline of body and mind. Literally. He says, forget about you going to higher worlds, not going to higher worlds. That is a secondary question. But even when you are here on this, in this world, you will never become prosperous, successful, or worthy. You may think that for some time, your prarabdha karma, you had to get something, you are getting, but that is not the way. You will not even experience happiness, peace, and goodness in this life. This he talks in the next shloka, in verse 32, which we will take in the next class. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namah. Now let's understand the meaning of two divine names. Verse 37. Let's read the shloka first. अशोकस्तारणस्तारः शूरशौरिजनेश्वरः अनुकूलः सतावर्तः पद्मी पद्मिनिभेक्षणः. Ashokah 336. One who has no sorrows. Sorrows is the condition experienced when the mind is agitated and extremely disturbed. The agitations of the mind come from desires, greed, etc. Therefore, the term Ashokaha indicates one who has none of these negative tendencies that create in their turn more and more mental disturbances. This is a true appellation because the Lord as the Self transcends the realm of the thought disturbances constituted by the mind-intellect equipment. 337. Taranaha. One who enables others to cross. The ego, suffering the constant agitations of the equipments, is saved by the self. The ego within bracket jiva, when it discovers its identity with the self, automatically moves away from the sorrows of the vehicles. In short, as Vishnu Bhagavata says, who is there other than you that can save us from the wheel of births and deaths? Samsara chakramaja kotitaret tvadanyaha. In Vishnu Bhagavata 7, 9-6. So to such a Lord who is Ashokaha Taranaha, we offer our humble most salutations, seek His grace, mercy and blessings so that we reach His divine feet. Om Tat Sat. Now let's read the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. To the Lord of Health, Lord Dhanvantari, we offer our humble salutation, seek His grace and blessings. To achieve anything in life, we need a healthy body, and we pray to Lord Dhanvantari for bestowing us that robust health till we reach the goal of our life. Oh, that's it. Now let's meditate using the pranayama principle. Now that we know how to start gaining mastery over our mind, make mind our servant. All make yourself comfortable. If at all any part of your body is disturbing or is uncomfortable, please get up, take a few steps, relax your body and sit in a comfortable position. Head, neck and spine in a straight line. Now let's start the pranayama on a basis of 1-4-2 principle. One portion of breathe in, 4 portions of hold, and 2 portions of breathe out. And then again repeat with breathe in, 1 portion, followed by 4 and followed by. Let's do this pranayam for about 4-5 minutes. Completely bring our mind under control, and then we will do the Sakshi Bhava, watching the thoughts in our mind. Please come. Let's start the pranayam. Keep your complete attention on your breath. Follow the rhythmic pattern of your intake, hold and exhale. Let's do a few more rounds. Please continue. If you're feeling giddy, then you can resume normal breathing. If you're not, please continue this pattern of breathing. It slowly takes you to the higher levels. Now you can slowly resume normal breathing. Observe the mind. And then gradually observe the thoughts in your mind. Without being judgmental, just observe the thoughts in your mind as you observe the traffic on the road. You will notice that the thoughts are gradually reducing in number because you're not paying heed to the thoughts. You will notice a state where there are no thoughts. Now slowly bring your focus to your breath. Observe the inhalation and exhalation of the breath. Slowly become aware of yourself. Become aware of your surroundings. Rub your palm, place them on your eyes. Slowly and gently open your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together with obeisance, we offer today's Gita Gnana Yagna at the lotus feet of the Lord. Seek His grace, mercy, and blessings. Nam Karta, Hari Karta, Hari Preranaya, Hari Prityat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat.